Hello and welcome. This time around, I'm going to work with Frappe charts. Okay, let's see what Frappe chart looks like. Okay, you have something like this as a chart. All we should do in this is kind of retrieve our data, then plug it into the system. Okay, first off, I'm going to explain how the chart works. From frappechart.io/chart, you have this kind of a variable declaration that extends a class. All this class does is it takes in first the first parameter here is the HTML div where the chart will be displayed. Then the next one is a set of data, and the data is made up of labels and data sets. The labels is what's going to show on the bottom. That's I think this is y-axis, x-axis. The bottom side of the chart, that's for the labels, and the data set is going to be this. You can see it's from here we are from -20 to 80, and when you look through the data, you have data some values here. You have 20. I think the minimum value here is in the minus, then positive. Okay, so we have the labels at the footer of, or the bottom, the x-axis of the chart, then the data set on the y-axis. You can see three data sets here, right? And if you can look at this chart, you also observe some data sets. Okay, how am I going to, the data set is into, have this one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. And you can see the distribution one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Next, you see these values for the first one, it says there's some data, and when you kind of look at this, some data, it describes it with different colors. Different colors. The first one is this very dark. I don't know much about colors, but this on this left hand side, I don't know what to call it. This left hand side, this very dark color, this one as well. Takes this first data set. The first value is 25, 40, 30. You can check that as well. You see the value 25 to this value. Then the next one is 40. You can look through 40. Then the next one is what, 30. Meaning that this first data set here in a dictionary or object will be sent to the first value on the left. Then the second value itself is for this brighter one. This brighter one. Then the third value itself is for the line, this line. But why are we having a line chart here? On every data set, you describe the type of chart, right? And the name of the chart. The first one has the name of some data and type as bar. The last one has name of yet another data and type of what, line. That's why you see a line data here. If you had changed this, we are going to work to see how we can change it. And you have different types of data set as well, where you can add or remove data. You can go through the documentation just here to see how you can make it up. But first thing I'm going to do is grab this entire element, drop it into my app. But you can use this in different situations. You can use it on your side front end, just like this front end, and you can use it on the back, not the back, the decks itself. Okay, let's proceed. To use it on your site front end, if you are using it in your app, your Node application, you can always add it to your Node application using these charts, something like this. Frappe charts, Frappe, yeah, something like this. Or you can include it using the JavaScript direct inclusion. Then you declare your values using this, then pass data to it. First, let's add it to this page. Where's the page? This page. Okay, I'm going to edit my page again. First thing I'm going to do is add some kind of, I'm going to add some kind of div to this my body. You can create it separately and at the end of the day add it to the body, but I might as well come down to the bottom of my HTML and add it. Or We just come straight to this documentation, grab this cross chart and add it to a div, div slash div. Give it an ID of cross chart, then save. Okay, that is problem one solved. Then problem two, we got to grab this entire content or entire element. You might as well declare it as a function or as a method. I'm not going to make use of the this will just instantiate a download of the chart. Come straight into your method. I might have to create a function. Okay, I have to create a function here. Call it chart. Then in my chart, I can declare a function let chart is assigned function, and I paste all the content inside the function. Just want to indent the contents. Okay. Here's an outside declaration. Like, okay, I can call it page charts. So as to show the distinction between the two, page chart is assigned this, then it call on this, and everything goes in between. Then the next thing I want to do is kind of grab this function I have just declared and execute it directly under this total. Okay, now we can head to our browser and reload, or you can use this clear cache as well to reload. Okay, now you see the chart is already showing in our browser. You can see it here very clear, very clear. Something else you may want to do is kind of rename this chart, my chart, the chart name, and some of this data. I'm going to remove this line chart completely and make it a bar chart. Then change this my awesome chart. I have to rename it to. Okay, I might have to go back to that page to describe it. Just below, you have a marker that shows you the maximum and this marker, for example, this marker value of 70 is what you see this page. You see this line, man, it's kind of highlighting. See this broken line just somewhere here. You can see a broken line. I have to zoom this page. I don't know if you can see a broken line just at the left of this mouse. Under it, you see marker. That's what the marker stands for. This marker stands for should be at 70. You can place it as some kind of a result or as a point for data recognition, something similar to it. Then next, this region start at -10 and end at 50. Depicts this. It starts at -10. If you look at this graph, we have -20, but the chart itself is colored from -10 and it stops as well 50. You see that, right? And what other thing can we describe? Yeah, the chart title, my awesome chart, is what you see above here, my awesome charts. And what else can we describe? Then this color describes the color for each of your charts. You may have as many charts as you like, but here three was used. You can add as many data as you want to this. And here you see the color for the first one, purple. Okay, I didn't know this was purple anyway. Purple. This next one, I don't know what color this is. And the line chart goes the light blue. And this other ones is to export, that is to download. Once you load the page, it's going to download. But I don't want that for the now. First, I'm going to change my chart title to estate price chart, save. What more can I change? The type itself is, it says axis mixed. It means you can mix either bar, line, high, percentage. You have these options of charts. But first, I'm going to change the type of chart. Change it from line to bar. Save. And what more can I change here? I'm going to change this purple to red. Change this to blue. Change this to green. Okay, that's to say this first one will be red, the next one will be blue, and the next other one will be red. I'm going to reload this page. Okay, now the page has fully reloaded, although the chart isn't showing, but if I open my terminal, okay, it's showing. So I think the chart kind of more or less executed before the page completely loaded. We may find a solution to that later, but if this chart doesn't show for now in development, you can just Control Shift J or Command Shift J, and it's going to show you the chart. But at later hour, we'll find solution to know why it's not showing instantly. Okay, error attribute with a negative value is not valid. I'm gonna see that. Okay, now you see there's a change. This changes to red. You see the price chart already. The title changed. This first one is on this. See red, blue, green. You can see this last one was changed back to chart. But that's why we have this. Okay, I might as well kind of add these exports. So you can see what export is all about. That's my profile. Accidentally opened it. Um, exports. Okay. If you add exports just below this, all it will do is once the page loads, it will download the charts. You see it right here, and we do not want that happening whenever we load our page. You can see it. Okay, that's all right. And what next can I do? I want to retrieve data from my system directly from the admin. I want to retrieve data directly from this admin to the charts. And let's see the kind of data we can retrieve based on our charts. We are not going to stick to this anyway. Let me see what I can do. Okay, how about by city or by property type? If I go by city, we are going to have so much. Let me see how many property types we have. Okay, we have 5 property types. Oh, if I use this 5, it's going to be too much. Going to be way too much. Okay, let's work by getting. Let's first check through to check to see the average of all the properties, property types. Can SSH into our database, bench console, and to select property underscore type. Select property underscore type, comma, grand total from tab property, then order by property type, group by property type as well. But before grouping, okay, my bad. Select say, oh my god, not here in bench. exit bench, not like this, bench Maria DP, not bench console. Okay, we have property types here. We have several. Okay, I want to group the contents, group by property type. Okay, since I'm having some kind of syntax error, group by, well, kind of experiencing a little issue here. In fact, I might just have to change the entire something differently. Instead of filtering by property type, I'm going to filter by status. I have to clear this screen if it will allow me clear. Okay, not allow me. I'm going to select status, no, status, comma, some grand total from tab property, group by status, order by status, ESC. Okay, we got some results. Mean that the total lease is this, total rent is this, and total sales is this. I might have to compare the three values to know what it's gonna give me. To compare, I might have to just select this. Okay, it's still 160, so that's correct. Okay, I'm going with this. Copy that, go straight to our code, st.py, define at frappe.whitelist, define get property by status. Get property price by status. Okay, yeah, you say okay, this should work fine. Then I'm gonna grab this entirely as well. Recall, you can add it directly to the frappe.for function as well. You might not just say let total, you can say let all. Can I add it here? Excuse me. Okay, I'm gonna first call it differently, then later call it in one solution. Right, you might have to write a function that you can always call. After this, write a function that you can always call. Instead of repeating this frappe.call, you kind of pass that frappe.call to one function, then the function returns a value for you, then you can work with that value. Then you also pass the property to be called. Okay, you can progress. I'm going to comment this out and save. Okay, next you can kind of stop the server, restart, since we just worked on the Python code. Okay, we are on the property page. I want to first get the content of this page. I hope I've commented out these exports. Okay, our page has loaded successfully, but it seems this I think this content is not showing now. So I told you we'll find a fix to it later, but for now you can close this and kind of open it again, and then we'll definitely find a solution to making it display. But if it is on your normal web browser, it should display with no issues. No content was printed from our front end or was delivered from our front end. We can check to know why from our estate app. Okay, we can execute this directly in the terminal. We can execute this directly. Know what the issue is. Paste it here. Oh, I see status. Okay, nothing was returned. Can check our terminal to see if there's any log, any error log. There's definitely no error log. I'm going to check that again. I think I had no return in my function, so I'm going to return something. Return price. That should be the issue. I'm going to try that, then restart the server. Try that once more and try. If no results, we can restart the server and retry. Okay, I've not reloaded the screen yet, just restarted the server. I can try this code once more, run it again, there will be any return. Okay, data was returned. We had message, and the message contains three arrays: have lease, rent, and what is it called? And sale. We can try to edit our code to give us some data. That could be once this data comes here. I want to split. I want to get this lease rent sale. I think is in order LRS. Okay, that would be let's status. Should I call it statuses? Oh, this may not be right, so I'm just going to define it like that. Then I want to pull this out, the lease rent. I'm going to say, or I'm going to write um, for r dot message, that is looping through the content, dot for each. Then this status is we are going to insert content from statuses dot push item. Okay, what happened here is that as we got back our the details from the server, the details is stored in message r dot message. As you can see from this browser, it's stored in message. R was printed. We have message Okay, once you pick the R dot message, we look through each of the items and the index values, then pass it to a function. Then each time we look through, we push what I is, the content is, into status. And once we are done with that, the status is complete. At the same time, we can also pull out this what is it called? Okay, I think I must have had an issue there or error. Normally, the first time it encounters any value, to pick both may end up pushing these two. So I'm going to pick the first and the second one. As pick statuses, let prices is assigned this as well. So that will be push status of 0. And the next one will prices dot push, statuses dot push, prices dot push item of 1. 0 picks the first value, 1 picks the second value. At the end of the day, we'll have both the status and the price. We can all console it here as console.log price. Okay, can pick this code, then execute in the browser. But I'm going to comment this out. Run. And you can see we had two values printed. The first one is lease, and the value for lease, you can check to know what lease is 808, rent is 268. You see that lease is 808, rent is 268, and sales is what, 523. You can see sales is 523. Okay, we are done with the first one. What we can do next is kind of reference this, right? So the labels goes here, and the label should be for the rent lease. That's for the statuses. And the okay, we're going to get rid of these labels. The label should be our labels will be the status. I'm going to copy this entire chart. In fact, I'm going to put this chart in. Should I put it in a function or write it directly first? Um, okay, I'm just going to put this in a function. Get rid of this. Or I'm just going to run it directly. Let me run it directly for the first time. We just run that directly. Check where it stopped. Okay, stopped here. Before this chart.export down to let's chart. You can always write this in a function later. Then once we get this value, I don't need to print this. I just drop it directly in here. End chart. Come here as write start chart. Okay, our statuses replaces this. Then for the data sets, for the now, I'm going to manually describe the data sets for the now. From here, you can reference how to work yours out. Work out yours. Okay, this may not be right, but I'm going to reload first to see what we get. While it reloads, I'm going to check the code to be sure something is not wrong. Okay, this first one will be for the first one is going to be for the status size rent lease. Okay, let me check my browser. Okay, the page has fully loaded, but I see no error. Like I told you, it's not displaying for the now, but it's kind of displaying somewhere. I still do not have an answer to this. I close this, and wow, I'm getting something I shouldn't be getting. See what okay. The data still seems to be there. It has not kind of. We need to clear the data completely. Reload. Okay, page seems to be loaded. I might have to add some kind of print data that will make this content show. Wow. Seems that I think I have to code here. That's the issue. I have to get one out. I have to comment one out completely. I just have to comment this out. Save. Then we have to find a way to execute this status. I have to execute it somewhere. Page charts. Comment it out. Execute status. At the same time, in this status, you can add something that is going to make it show. Might have to add. Let me just add console at the bottom if it's going to show, or alert. I just use console.log ready. If that works, if it doesn't work, we can use alert to make it work. Okay, since our console did not log work, we'll continue. Wow. Since the page data is still loading, no page data shows, and no error. Okay, we found an error. Says type error r.map is not a function. Let's see what was console. Have data here, data here. Wow, this code executed 3 times. Type error r.map is not a function. That has to deal with what we have here. r.message dot for each. So we should have no issue with this. It's still working. That's not the issue. Here we still have the same error. I have to seriously go back to the code to know where this is. Although I'm not getting any error log to know where the issue is. I'm going to go back to that code and look at it. Although looking at our code, this status is seen as some kind of dictionary, but the prices we passed is not. I'm sorry, a kind of list or array. But the prices we passed is not an array. I may have to drop this in an array. I have to drop that in an array. Reload once more. Okay, the page has loaded and I'm not seeing any error log here. Okay, now we see our data and it's plotted here. Though this value, the value here is out of shape. It's completely out of shape. We're going to find solution to that. The solution to that is to get, you can see, instead of writing some data here, some data, another data, yet another data, you can just kind of, correct that. First one is going to be, no, sorry, status is of 0, 1, 2. Then what else? The minimum and maximum value. How do we get the minimum of a value in JavaScript? Get the min and max, I can as well pull up this prices, give it tuple, the top, let's price tuple. So this will pick it in tuples. Once it picks it in tuple, we have for the minimum value, the start value is minus 50 and 0. You don't have that. The start is sorry, math dot mean to get the minimum of this entire content, and it should end at math dot max. Max. That should give us the maximum value. Okay, I'm using this as kind of a medium to make the content show on the screen. Was I reload? Our values is not showing. So I have to inspect that. Console.log. How sure am I this page reloaded? Because there's no uncut syntax or unexpected open and close brackets. Check that. Wow. Line 49. Wow, you can't define this. Wow. I will not have to. I don't want to do this manually. Yeah, I don't want to do it manually. Okay. For the now, I just have to go manual. Though it's kind of a bad code, but I just want to use it to show you how to achieve this. Actually, very bad code. Very, very bad code. But what can we do? A very bad code. Line 49. Okay, comment this out. Um, comment this out. It's actually not even right. It's supposed to be dot push. I wouldn't want to do this, but man, I got no choice. Just have to do it like that. I don't want to do this way. It's actually not a good coding practice, but it's just for learning. Then something else is wrong. The chart is not correct. Just get rid of this entire content here. Our chart is not correct. Leave prices as it is. And what do we have here? I'm gonna leave this first. Reload that page. Okay, our page has displayed ready. And okay, here we have the first one is lease. Second one is rent, but we're having the same color. I have to look for a way to make this have different colors, and that's the issue. How do you go about this? Even the price marker isn't showing, isn't working properly. Since we have three different colors here, have to make this data available in three different colors as well. Well, I can do manipulation here. Can put this as 0 comma, more of a way to do manipulation, but it's not right. Comma 0 comma 0. This is not right anyway. I'm just going to do it this way. Here is 0 comma 0 comma. What I've just done here, just kind of a manipulation to show the first one, then this the other two values nothing, then the second one the middle value something, and this third one mean that here I won't be having this. Okay, I'm gonna reload that. I think I might have to close this. Okay, you see the manipulation I just did, just to split the values for lease, rent, sales. Then the next value is this. I can't get any good value coming out from here. Have 8309999,000, 80 million. Okay, this starting value, this ending value 100 million, and the height. Okay, now the value is labeled as 0. Is how many is this? I don't know what this is, but anyway, I think we are getting a better values right now. 100 million too much. 80 million. Okay, at least we got something out on how to work with this, but you can look for your own way to get data in here. But at least you've kind of gotten a start on how to use this. The one more other thing is kind of working with the data table as well. You can